Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Dr. Michael Lebby, CEO of Nasdaq-listed Lightwave Logic, to discuss how data can be transmitted at significantly higher speeds and with less power than existing solutions. Michael, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Give us a brief overview of Lightwave Logic.
Lightwave Logic is a high-tech company that's based in Denver, Colorado, and we're developing a material called electro-optic polymers. Sounds very complicated, but what it is an organic material. In fact, similar to organic LEDs, OLEDs, which you use for your phones and you use for your TVs and displays, except our polymer material is different than OLEDs in that it switches light as opposed to putting out light like you would get for a TV. And switching light gets put into optical components that get used in the internet, and the performance of our polymers is very, very fast, and it saves the networks lots of power.
What is the purpose of your proprietary electro-optic polymer technology, and what's the current stage of development?
So the main advantage of our technology is that we use these in devices called modulators. Modulators are found all over the internet. In fact, they're the ones that are placed in the fiber optic cable along with lasers. And these are the devices that determine the speed of the data, the bandwidth that you receive in your home that goes through the internet. And a lot of the network providers and data centers consume a lot of power to do this. These modulators that we make using our proprietary materials, the electro-optic materials, go a lot faster than what's out there today and much lower power.
And let's talk about supply chain issues. I mean, that really is a big part of the conversation in today's environment with high inflation and supply chain constraints. How is Lightwave Logic navigating these supply chain issues?
So yes, it's supply chain issues certainly have been topical, but we actually create our own polymers in Denver, Colorado. So we actually do not have any supply chain issues because we create our own proprietary material ourselves. So we're not actually buying it from anywhere else. And because of that, we're actually immune to a lot of the issues you see today.
Where do you think the industry is going in the next 5 years?
Wow, if you have to think about this, I mean, we've all gone through a dark period in the last 2 years with COVID and the various issues there, and we've all worked from home. And working from home, we've all realized that when we connect to the internet, we have bandwidth problems. Even earlier today, I had to turn the camera off because of limitations in bandwidth. And so we all realize now that actually having faster data is really going to help us all, and it's really going to change our lives. And so, sometimes we can only have one camera on at a time. But if we think through in 5 years' time with this type of technology, we're saving the data centers and the telecom companies lots of power when they actually switch the optical data. But we're also supplying higher speeds, which turns into higher bandwidths at home. So it makes it easier for all of us. So we can just imagine 5, 10 years down the road, I guess we may have information overload. We may be able to use 3 or 4 cameras, video windows all at the same time. But I think it's going to be really good for us to do that because it gives us the opportunity to enrich our lives with lots of different things. And so we see this not as a technology that just goes faster and lower power, but it is going to transform our lifestyle once the internet gets faster and works at lower power. So we see that as a huge advantage. And what we're doing in order to support this is working with partners such as big semiconductor foundries. So this technology can be ubiquitous. It can go everywhere, just like OLEDs in televisions.
Yeah. Well, we certainly need the infrastructure in order to get there as well. And I think it's part of the challenge that we see right now, especially to your point, how fast that the pandemic accelerated those trends. So it appears that we're a little bit more proactive looking forward than being reactive, that we had to make that instant pivot 2.5 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's sad to really think about what the pandemic did for us as a society on one hand. On the other hand, it made society realize that higher bandwidth actually really helps everybody. You can work from home, you can work from the coffee shop. And if you can upgrade the internet with optical modulators using our technology, we feel that it's really going to be transformational.
All right, Michael, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you very much.